People have to stop waiting for the easy bus to come around. That could be labeled as waiting for the next wave of refis or a refi boom. And in every single market, people are buying and selling homes for various reasons. And the more clear you are and being able to go out into the market and find the challenges and the needs of the market and have solutions for those needs, the more successful you're going to be at serving the market.
We hear it all the time. Let's just wait for rates to drop and then everything's going to get better. But I get it, like this whole idea of waiting, it's a strategy. I'm just not sure it's the right strategy. So when we think about what are the top loan officers doing today to win in this market, no matter what the market condition is, this is the conversation for today.
Well, I think the big thing is people just remember, hey, the market isn't broken and the mortgage business, isn't going away. You just have to have the right skill sets and the tools to be able to thrive regardless of the market. And hopefully we can, unpack a few ways and strategies to do that. But I want to just say out of the gate, the first and foremost thing that we have to remember is we're in business to help people solve problems. Mortgage professionals have to remember your number one job is to serve your community and serve the people you get to work with, and operating with an intentional heart to go help.
Yeah, I love that. So let's chunk that down, Jay. You've been in business a really long time. You run now a whole division. You have many loan officers working for you and with you. When you talk to loan officers today, let's just approach where the mindset is around this, because if we can walk through that, I think it's going to help us to really showcase some tactics that some of the best out there are using.
Yeah, I will say no loan officer works for me. I work for them. So it's our job to serve our sales team. And that is our intention. I would think that one of the biggest things, out of the gate is people have to stop waiting for the easy bus to come around. And that could be labeled as waiting for the next wave of refis or a refi boom. And that at the end of the day, in every single market, people are buying and selling homes for various reasons. And the more clear you are and being able to go out into the market and find the challenges and the needs of the market and have solutions for those needs, the more successful you're going to be at serving the market.
So it kind of goes back to the basics. When we think about relationships and developing those relationships to get to the people that need our service, what does that look like in today's environment? And has that changed much over the years?
I think it has, because when I think about it from our standpoint, it's, over the last few years, did you have the ability to close quickly and efficiently? And that's why we rolled out our 10-day close and a commitment to that. That's not as big of a demand, but we have a major issue in the market with, too many people that are sitting on their homes, and there's still a growing demand of buyers. So there's not enough inventory. Now, it doesn't feel like the same constraint and pressure, but how do we help that move up buyer? Like our portfolio bridge loan program. And that's a tool that you can go help solve that. Now, obviously, if you're not at Cornerstone, there's other companies, there's other outlets to be able to help people solve that move up buyer issue. We've seen a big expanse of non-QM programs. And we have self-employed people, 1099 people that were underserved. And now there's tools to be able to go help those people solve their problems. So I think the biggest thing is meeting with your realtors, your builders, your partners, and saying, hey, what's your biggest challenge that you're facing today? What can we do to help you solve the problem? And now, obviously, higher interest rates. A lot of our loan officers that work with builders, they're working on incentive packages, builder forward commitment programs to get the rates down. But at the end of the day, it's what is the need of your clientele and who are you going to serve? And if you can figure that out, it doesn't matter what the interest rate environment is, because there's people out there that have financing needs, and you just have to go solve those problems.
When you're talking, Jay, one of the things that just comes to my mind is strategy. And I feel like that word gets overplayed in this day and age, but it really is so integral in the life of a loan officer. Not only are we working with referral partners who are talking to us about their biggest challenge, but then we're working with the borrowers out there that are have life happening to them. And, one of the cool things about what we do in this industry and specifically at Cornerstone is we have so many products that honestly help loan officers fill that gap, like be able to take it all in, listen. What's the objective? What are they trying to solve for? And then put the strategy together based on the products that we have to help them meet that. I think that's the thing still after all these years that excites me about where the industry is today. And, when we think too, just is technology changing the way that we do things? It is. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I think that the advancements in technologies allow us to spend more time with our borrowers, spend more time with our referral partners, really like diving in deep to what is going on right now in their lives, what are the objectives, and then us being able to build that thought track around, okay, like here are a few different ways that we can do that. And then letting, the technology piece of it create the efficiency in the process.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I also think one of the things that's helpful is to really think about, the structure for your clients and coming up with a roadmap and a plan, not just for the house they want to buy, not just for, getting the loan closed, but also thinking about how you're going to come alongside them and create that client for life relationship to serve them. And, based off of where the interest rate environment is today versus 2 months ago to where it's going to be in 6 months, that's all going to determine what they think is the best type of financing for them. So I think it is consulting so that they make the choice, but also making sure that they understand like you have a plan to serve them today, next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years, and you're a part of their ecosystem as an advisor that's trusted and for the long road.
So, Jay, what are some of the top tools that loan officers can use today to bring that relationship type of purpose to the market as opposed to maybe what might be considered transactional? So, just from your scope, what are loan officers that are those relational loan officers that are doing life with their clients, not just based on today's house, but on the future? What does that look like?
Well, I do think that, having an active CRM that does keep you on task for everything that's in your funnel. And so having task management, so you have a plan to stay in touch with all your active, pre-approved prospective clients. You also have a plan to stay in touch with your database. So you're doing annual review calls. You have a way to monitor your past clients' rates to what is available now in the market so that you can keep them up to date when there is a savings opportunity. Because I think speed to those updates is going to be important because we've seen such a huge amount of money spent by large servicing companies to acquire the client and acquire the servicing. So we know that their intention is to get those refis down the line. So if you don't, somebody else will, is kind of one of those things that I always try to think about. And so having to be proactive about that. So what's your tooling, what's your system to be able to get you there, quicker is really a big key. I think the other item is what are you using for consultation purposes to be able to have a meaningful, impactful conversation? I'm a big believer of mortgage coach to be able to present more than just rates, costs, fees, but really to be able to show them strategy, planning perspective. What's my cost over the short term? What's my cost over the long run? To really be able to evaluate those decisions so they can make the most informed choice for themselves. And then I really do think some of the tools like a My Home IQ or a HomeBot is a great tool to be able to stay in front of your database because it's actually some value, right? It's tangible data that's helpful to knowing how their home's performing. They can inquire about different activities but it's a data point and it's a touch that I think is helpful information for the consumer. And it's another way to stay engaged with the client. So I think those are some of the key tools that are helpful.
I agree with all of that. I've done all of that for years. And honestly, I think just having that infrastructure where it's very clear has been such a help when building my origination business over the years, because this was how we were going to do it. And then we did it. And then it just allowed for more time for us to really have these deeper conversations, which is really at the end of the day, what's the exciting part of our business, is to be able to help solve problems. And that's kind of how you started this off. As we wrap this up, kind of like, let's just put a bow on it. What are your closing thoughts? The value add for that loan officer that might be listening to this today.
I think the biggest thing is, one, check your heart, check your purpose. Why are you here today? Two, at the end of the day, the will to win is not nearly as important as the will to prepare to win. So we have to be the most prepared person and show up ready to go. And part of that is being prepared for every consultation and client interaction so that you're present, you can hear their needs, you can find out what the pain and the pleasure that's going to drive their next step and their decisions, and listen well so that you're ready to be able to remind them of what's important to them and why they're doing what they're doing when they get to decision points in the process. So I think at the end of the day, it's being prepared, it's being ready, and always, coming at it from a heart of service.
No doubt. Well, everybody, that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Level Up LO podcast. Hopefully, you found value in this. And please share your comments. We would love to hear them. If you have any other questions or thoughts on items you'd like to have us discuss, please just DM us or note it in the comments.